That's the toughest, hardest I've gone in a while.
My training life is really defined by 3 buckets. Bucket number 1 is performance training. Bucket number 2 is aesthetics training. And bucket number 3 is endurance training. This is what functional bodybuilding is all about. The combination of these 3 buckets of fitness into an elegant training plan that will help us look good and move well. We call this a concurrent training approach. When you have multiple goals you're training for and attempt to bring them up all together simultaneously. You won't be the best at any one of them if you try to do them all together, but you'll also not leave gaping holes in your fitness. As someone who's attempted to dive very narrowly into aspects of fitness and has felt the drawbacks of having gaping fitness holes, I've committed myself to the pursuit of all 3 as my ongoing mission for training myself and others. If you want to be the best CrossFitter on the planet, then by all means, hire a CrossFit specific coach and follow a competitor-focused plan. If you want to be the best bodybuilder you can be, then consider a bodybuilding program that is more specific to that sport. And if you want to be a high-level endurance athlete, then by all means, go find yourself a coach to write you an endurance plan specific to the discipline that you want to compete in. But if you're like me and millions of others who want to look good, have some aesthetics, and move well, perform, then you'll be glad that you trained these disciplines concurrently. You don't need to focus on each independently to see results. You can get better in all. Today, we're going to be showcasing a program track that we offer and persist called Perform. Perform has a slight bias towards the performance aspects of training. We explore higher skill functional fitness movements like barbell Olympic lifts and even gymnastics skills. We take time to layer on bodybuilding principles in resistance training to help build muscle and support joint and tissue health. Furthermore, we include higher intensity cardio intervals in a variety of different formats. Joining me today for this workout is longtime functional bodybuilding coach, Shauna Guzman, and my longest standing client of all time, 12 years, my wife, Megan. Let's show you how we perform. We always start with a warm-up and a prep session. This creates blood flow in the body and the joints that we're going to be using specifically in that training session. And since we have snatches and front squats coming up for our intensity lifts today, we're addressing those key areas along with some of our cardio in the prep session. This was 3 rounds of biking for 60 seconds, some knee over toe squats for 10 reps, and a barbell hang muscle snatch for 10 to 15 reps. Those knee over toe squats are a great range of motion drill. And since we're supporting them with our hands on the squat rack, it's much easier and a way to get into that position and focus more on the mobility than the strength aspect of the movement. Additionally, we're doing these hang muscle snatches to get the shoulders ready for the rotation that they're going to experience when they're doing our snatch complex coming up here shortly. A little bike interval between each round helps get the blood moving and gets that breathing elevated as well as our body temp heading into training. After the prep and before we get into our intensity work for the day, we have a section of training that we call structural balance. These 2 resistance training exercises are designed to strengthen the muscles around the knee. Since this is a more body part focused approach, we get that little bit of hint of bodybuilding inside of our Perform track. In a traditional performance program, you might avoid doing work like this before your intensity lifts for the day, since they could decrease performance when you snatch or when you do front squats. We make that sacrifice 1 or 2 days a week so that we can bring a little bit more energy and focus to this joint specific movement work that we're doing. That way we can build better quality into these exercises. If you always save your accessory work for the end of training, you'll always have less energy and focus for these critical movements. So consider switching it up like this strength balance superset. This was 3 sets of a hand supported suitcase ATG split squat combined with Nordic hamstring curl negatives. Okay, a solid warm up alongside 3 sets of structural balance, and our bodies were definitely into the workout. Sweaty and having given some strong effort already, we now arrive at our 2 intensity lifts of the day. The first was the snatch. We were going to perform a complex that was going to happen every minute on the minute for 10 sets. The next was 3 working sets of 1 1/4 front squats. The snatch complex and the 1 1/4 front squat have both been building in this 6-week training cycle. We were on week 4 of this training cycle, and each week we were putting energy towards progressively overloading these 2 exercises. That means we're increasing weights, or we're increasing the quality of our reps in the front squat and the snatch on this particular day of the week. One little note to you all out there. If you want to go suffer some great quad burn, then go try 1 1/4 front squats and let me know what you think. So what was the actual prescription? Well, for the snatch complex, every minute we were performing 1 hang power snatch immediately into 2 power snatches from the floor. That was 3 reps every minute for 10 sets. Each set got a little bit heavier, and the goal was to top out at a weight that you could perform for all 3 reps on the minute with really impeccable form. Next up was the 1 1/4 front squats, which we were doing for sets of 6. There were 3 working sets of this with 2 to 3 minutes between each, and on the final set, the goal was to hit an RPE of 9 out of 10. That means rate of perceived exertion, 9 out of a maximal of 10. Another way to interpret that is basically go until you can only do 1 more rep and then stop.
I got too much on my mind, I got too much on my plate. You just wanna know, child, I just need some time and space. I just need another day, need to find another way. Girl, I used to play some sports, but I'm sick of all the guys.
So that concluded our strength work. And to wrap up the day, we always have a conditioning section in Perform. Some days these efforts are shorter intervals with higher intensity, and other days these efforts are longer with lower intensity. The goal over the course of a week is to cover a wide range of time domains, effort levels, and ultimately movement patterns. It's a delicate balance of all these variables, but it allows our athletes to feel like they're developing a wide range of capacity, skills, strength, and endurance. Barbell intervals were on the menu today, and they got super spicy for all of us. I want to give a big shout out to Shauna and Megan for getting this done today. Both of them have not done this type of interval training in quite some time, as they've both been focused on one of our other training tracks a lot more lately. But they pushed hard, and they gave me some great motivation as well. The first interval that we did was a barbell power clean into 2 hang power cleans into 3 front squats, followed by 4 bar facing burpees. That was 1 set, and we would rest anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds between sets, and we completed that for 5 total rounds. Next up on the second set of intervals was 2 power cleans, 3 hang squat cleans, 4 box jump overs, and 30 double unders. At the end of those intervals, it was a similar 30 to 60 second rest between sets, and we did that for 5 sets as well. Now, the weights that we each used were different depending on our abilities, skill level, and confidence. Also, the height of the box that we were jumping over, that had a lot of variability as well. We didn't go at the same pace, we didn't go at the same speed, but we all got the work done, and we had a great time. If you love the idea of a combination of performance, aesthetics, and endurance, then you can try Perform, a track and persist, along with our other 3 training tracks absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go ahead and check the link in the description below. I'll see you next time.